I am live. I was texting them to let them know to put us on. Put us on. All right, welcome to the Honky Tonk Happy Hour, everybody. I don't know why my hosts are not on yet, but they should be able to bring themselves in. You guys have to add yourselves to the stream. Come on.
I told him that. He didn't want to do it.
Well, it's your show. We're letting you start.
Oh, you guys are waiting for me to go.
Somebody missing you.
No, exactly. B, you're so far away.
I'm behind the bar.
Oh,
Here, I'll stand up. Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Now you can sit down. It's fine. I'm
I'll
sitting
stand
down.
up now.
I'm sitting down. I even have my feet up.
Hi.
Hi, Jon Snow. Oh, hi. Oh, I miss my dog. Oh yeah, who's in the pit? I can't see anything. I can see comments actually, but I can't see um, Jello Fire, and I see pages in there, but I can't say anything. So
In
I
YouTube?
can't
Okay.
type anything. Well, actually, I can see the whole chat
Oh.
for all of them. But you can too if you're close enough to the screen. So we're trying this a new way. I'm on the road, and the Booze Brothers are holding down the fort. Holding down the bar is more like it. And Bambino is trying to constantly adjust the screen.
Hey man, this is Jessica Lynn Whitty we're talking about here.
Yeah.
The show always goes on, right, girl?
The show must
That's
go.
right. That's right. So I was. So here's my dumb day in a nutshell. I hit the road, and I had this all figured out. I was going to be here just in time. I'm in Livingston, Montana right now, and I was like, oh shoot, when I get there, it's going to be 5 o'clock, not 4 o'clock, because of the time difference. Little did I think about the fact that we're actually doing the Honky Tonk Happy Hour in my old time zone. So I made it. I was hitting it hard. I was driving it like a race car.
You have to think about that, right?
Yeah. I got myself some booze. What about you guys?
We're gonna make some Manhattans. Should I get going?
Hey,
Get going, man.
So, as Brian gets a couple of glasses out, before he tells people what we're doing and making, why don't you? Oh, did you?
I should make Manhattans.
Oh, but I mean, how to make it. Damn, it's so
So
complicated.
if you lean closer, I can't hear you. So talk into the mic.
Why don't you tell people? Oh, by the way, we shared to Facebook, Twitch. No one's in Twitch yet, except for Bubba.
All right.
So
I see that my good friend Lana is in here from the Live Out Loud program.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah. Cool.
Why
Awesome.
don't you tell people what you're doing?
All right. Well, I'm on tour. I'm doing 3 shows in Montana. It's basically rebooking anyone who wanted me to come back from last year because last year didn't happen. So we ended up booking a couple of shows, and here I am. So I'm on my way. Since Washington wasn't open at all by the time when I was booking it, none of them are in Washington or Idaho. What?
Is it your last show in Eastern Washington?
This might be easier if you're back. Oh yeah. What you could do is move the microphone a little closer because I can't hear you very well.
Why don't you move that one closer so I don't hit this when I make the drinks?
Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter.
All right.
You could also turn it up on the Scarlet. I didn't hear you said something about Eastern Washington.
Oh, he said your last show on this tour is in Eastern Washington.
No, Stevensville, Montana.
Oh, Stevensville. Okay, gotcha. Can you hear us better now?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But I am coming right back and then going to Eastern Washington. So I guess technically it's the same tour. I mean, it's not. It all blends in, right? Because I'll be back for a day, and then we're off again to Quincy. So yes, there's an first Eastern Washington gig of the year on next Saturday. So it'll be
Nice,
fun.
very nice.
Nice. So why don't we let B tell us how he's going to be making in Manhattan? Because there's people out there who probably don't know how to make it.
True. Well, are you going to make a perfect Manhattan? Because I just learned the difference.
I am gonna make a perfect Manhattan.
All right, you're up.
So, and
we need sound effects. Da, 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 da,
are you gonna shut up so I can make drinks?
Yeah, where's the buzzer when you need it?
So,
Oh, we got that one.
so perfect Manhattan is half sweet vermouth, half dry vermouth.
And so are you doing like half up? So it's 1 part vermouth to 2 parts
2 parts
bourbon.
bourbon.
So basically, if you're doing 2 ounces of bourbon, it's half an ounce of each type of vermouth, right?
Correct. So I'm doing 1 ounce of each of the vermouth and 4 ounces of rye.
Of course you are.
2 of us.
Oh, I thought that was just for you.
Well, it might be later. I mean, I have been having 2 doubles a night, so.
Oh, there you go. I'm just having Merlot. It's easier to blend. For me, at least.
And then 4 ounces of rye. We're using bullet bourbon. Or bullet
Of course
rye,
you are. So I know we call him Mr. Pendleton, Sir Pendleton. We call him Sir Pendleton, but he actually drinks a lot more bullet than anything else.
Well, and Paige is Lady Pendleton.
True. I don't know if that's, any relation, but
Why don't you real quick, because we're behind the scenes with the Rebels, why don't you tell people what show you were playing, who you were supporting, and how Bob Booze Brothers got his nickname.
how he got his name.
And the last part,
you can't remember, so I should probably tell it.
The last part of this is 4 dashes of bitters.
All right, that's right. And then the good maraschino cherries, not the bad
Already
ones.
in the glass, the good maraschino cherries. Yes.
Do you do a little bit of the sauce too?
I only put a little bit of cherry juice in if it comes on the spoon. So I don't actually add extra cherry juice.
Oh, so you just pick the cherries up and whatever's with them goes in. Because I usually do like a spoonful or 2 of cherry juice.
Yep.
I swear this is my first drink.
You can always tell when Bob has been drinking Manhattans.
Yeah.
Because there's cherry stems in the cigar ashtrays.
Yep.
Oh, of course. Naturally. Why wouldn't there be?
Look it up and then pour it.
So I see that since Pedro couldn't sing today, he decided not to join you guys.
Yeah, Pedro's got COVID.
Awesome.
But because we don't have a sound effects board, I'll be the sound effects board.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum. My name is Frank, and I am awesome.
That was an ad-lib version for sure. We need to find one for Vince too. Well, now you blurred up your screen.
Did what?
It's not auto-focusing. You all blurry. You can't do it there. There you go. Now I did it. I figured it out. That's funny. Bambino what?
Knows how to do stuff every once in a while. So it's your fan club. You got to we got the drinks made. They're poured, and we need to what are we cheering? Are we cheering the successful tour?
Well, let's cheers. So I have a successful tour since I've only been driving so far and going live.
All right.
Oh, I'll tell you guys about my TikTok live yesterday. So cheers.
Cheers.
And I need another glass.
Here's Bob Booze Brothers Perfect Manhattan.
All right, perfect. And the mint in Livingston's Perfect Merlot. Malbec. So yesterday I decided to do stay on my TikTok. So I usually go live on TikTok every 3rd Wednesday of the month. And this time I'm on tour, so I'm like, all right, fine. I'm just gonna stop somewhere and go live and just figure out, like, find a park, whatever. It was great weather. Been raining a little bit, but it was fine. So I made it to Cle Elum, and I found a park, and and there was a little awning, so I was underneath the awning. And I sit there, and I have it all set up, and I'm freezing because it's actually cold on the mountain. And this guy pulls up with a lawnmower and starts mowing the lawn behind me. I'm like,
Oh no!
really? 2 minutes before I start going live. So I upended. I started, and then no, it was too loud.
Yeah.
And then I stopped and I went live again, and I took it over to the other corner. But now I didn't have the awning, so I was just like praying to the weather gods that it would stay dry. Yeah.
Did
So
it stay
that
dry?
was fun. It did. It was actually, and then the sun came out, and and my jacket was way too hot. It was like, ugh.
So what's your favorite part about going on tour?
Can I get another one?
I don't do FaceTime drinks.
Oh, he doesn't do FaceTime drinks. He says. My favorite part about touring, you know, I honestly I like it, and this is gonna sound horrible, but I like going on the road by myself, and I love just driving, being alone in the car. It's weird, but I really do like that.
Well,
So I listen to a book, or I listen to music, or
because that's something that people probably don't realize is that artists, I think true artists are both introverts and extroverts.
yeah, you can be both at the same time. Yeah.
When you get on stage, you need to be an extrovert, obviously, to connect and
Thank
whatever.
you.
But you also need that downtime, right?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
So what do you? Why don't you
Good
talk
man.
about? Do you remember the first song you ever wrote while you were on tour, just driving along? Talk about that.
I've written a lot of songs while on tour, but the one that stands out to me is "Crazy on the Outside."
That's what Beat said.
Yeah, because
He'd give Paige a run for her money. I'll tell you. He knows more.
I wrote "Wheels" while on tour as well, while driving at least.
Love that.
I wrote "Headed South" while driving. I write a lot while driving, whether it's on tour or not. But "Crazy on the Outside" was funny because I had I didn't even have. Sorry, just checking out the comments. I didn't even have an idea for that song. It just popped into my head as I was driving to a gig, and by the time I hit the gig, I had a couple of hours to kill. So I finished the song and I played it that night. I've never tried anything like that.
Oh,
that's awesome.
I remember you told me that too. Hey, just real quick, we gotta let's take a moment to pay love to your rebels.
Ooh, Funky and Medina.
Yeah, Funky's on Twitch.
I love it, Funky. It's great. Thank you.
Funky is
the best.
Funky is a dear friend of ours. She has got a podcast with a friend of ours, Future Man Canuck, called The Voice It Show. Check it out.
It's awesome.
I think it's like 31, 32 interviews, something like that.
Wow.
We love you, Funky. What time? I can't ever remember. What time is it in Bosnia?
Oh man, Funky, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Girl, you let us know.
Or you pull out the world clock on your iPhone.
I'm too busy watching Twitch. Oh,
that's awesome.
Get this. It's your show, but I just got asked a question. So, Funky and Medina from The Voice It Show. She asked, it's 2:14 a.m. So she's up late. She's up late, and she's a dedicated friend of the Rebels.
Yeah.
So Funky asked, "Hey Ray, do you miss Jess when she's gone on the road?" And I can make jokes, but I do. Both Jon Snow and I do. We miss her dearly. That's one of the things about being an artist.
He cries in his Wheaties every morning.
I cry my Wheaties. Back in 2016, I went on tour in Europe for 30 days, came back, and about 3 months later, Jessica left for 40 or 45 days. So it's just we know it comes with the territory, and we FaceTime and text like crazy.
Well, I hadn't even made it to the first pass before you called me this time. I miss you.
I butt FaceTimed you.
Now I'm just throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, but I butt FaceTimed you. You know you always call me first.
Oh, sure you did. Sure you did. Well,
Yeah.
this wine is giving me the bluest tongue. You guys want to see? Super crazy.
Oh wow.
Nice.
I know, right? I'm sitting here going,
You're like a country Smurf now.
I know.
Smurf Witty.
I'm wearing blue, so
Well,
you know.
because the only female Smurf is Smurfette. So you're Smurf Witty.
Yeah, like the thing she does is being a girl. Like everybody else has like they're carpenters or they're happy or they're sad or whatever. The only thing that she does is she's a girl. The thing that she does. So sexy.
You know what? Hey, you should. I'll tell you what. You should create a little Smurf country Smurf club. It could be you could be Smurf Witty. Funky could be Funky Smurf. That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Little blue Smurf with like really cool hair, stopping at the base. Stop at the base, Funky.
Wouldn't I be Witty Smurf?
Ooh, Witty
As in
Smurf.
like the funny one?
I like it.
Yeah.
How's YouTube going?
Are you in, Funky? What do you say? We could start a Smurf band.
There's only two of us.
Yeah. Looks like Jellifier and myself are the two in YouTube right now.
Well, I don't think we did it. We didn't do as much promotion this time because I was on the road the whole day. So I normally push it a lot more. So unfortunately, our rebels don't always remember where to find us.
Hey, it's time for a brand new segment. I'm gonna throw it on you.
Okay.
Sound effects. Going back in, that's simulating going back in time.
Perfect.
Oh God, here goes Jon Snow.
Yeah, here it comes.
So, what is your? Do you remember your first gig in the U.S.?
Mm-hmm.
So, where was it? First of all, how did you get the gig? Where was it? And talk about that gig.
So the first gig I ever did, I didn't even promote because I was so scared, and I just didn't even want to like. What if I mess up so bad? I didn't want anybody to be there. Of course, there were a lot of people there, but I didn't want anybody to be there.
That sounds like
So.
when you had sex for the first time.
So terrible. So it was at the Spotted Cow up in Mill Creek,
Oh yeah.
up north of Seattle, and I only did. I think I did 4 songs, and 2 of them I couldn't even play. I had to have somebody else play the songs with me. So it was like a showcase. Am I boring you guys?
No, I'm responding to your brother.
I'm just joking. So I did that. I did the showcase. It was the Songwriters in Seattle night. So when I just moved to Seattle, I joined Songwriters in Seattle because I was like, okay, it's a place to start. Made some really good friends, like Chris Klemecki, David Ricks, and those through Songwriters in Seattle. Good dudes, yeah, exactly. And they were actually Chris and David both played with me that first time. So that was my first gig. It was in December of 2010.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. And
Yeah.
fast forwarding, all the hundreds and hundreds of gigs, probably over 1,000 gigs in the last 10 years.
God, yeah.
What is your most memorable gig you've done in the States? It could be one of the showcases you flew cross country for. I don't know. What is your most memorable gig and why?
I don't even think I can answer that. I mean, most memorable.
Well, let me ask you this: Was it one of the big gigs where you supported major acts like Trace Adkins or Jeff Foxworthy and all that, or was it something smaller, more intimate?
I think the one that stands out to me where I had this moment of feeling like, oh my God, something shifted in me at that gig was at the Steel Creek in Tacoma. I was playing upstairs and I was opening for somebody. I can't remember if it was Keith Anderson or if it was Trick Pony, or because that was the same room. But
Well, actually,
what I
Keith Anderson,
remember,
Keith Anderson was
Was
downstairs.
downstairs.
Trick Pony.
that's
was
right. So it wasn't that one. It would have been Trick Pony, the upstairs.
Okay.
It was just me and my guitar, and I remember feeling like the whole room was there to see me, even though I was opening. And I remember Perlita yelling that out. That was super sweet. We're here for you.
We love
You know
Perlita.
Perlita. She's so
Yeah,
sweet.
Trick Pony. I wasn't actually there. That was the only gig at Steel Creek I missed because you opened up for Keith Anderson,
Uh-huh.
Trick Pony,
And Drew Baldridge.
Drew Baldridge.
Yeah. Who else? I feel like at least one more there.
I think that's the only three.
No, I think there was another one.
Was there another one?
Yeah, I can't remember those.
There
But
was a
that's
New
true.
Year's Eve
Those guys.
Was there a gal?
No.
There was a New Year's Eve gig because we went and walked around first night. And I don't think
Oh, that's right. There was.
You're right. That's right.
But I don't remember who was playing that night. Anyway, see, that's the thing. They all kind of blur together. And I don't blame artists who stand on stages and have to think a couple of moments or look at their notes to see where they're at, because you wake up in a new town, you know, it's the same show you put on, all the places, oh, they don't all look the same, but I get that. Like, I get that, even though I'm not like arena style musician, but if you play more than once a week, it's hard to keep tabs on where you are.
Okay, well let's take the questions a different way. That is, so your bass player.
Hi, Jim.
Your
Jim, the
bass
cable
player,
guy is there.
fiddle player, Lynn Sorensen, has played Wembley Stadium 4 times,
Mm-hmm.
100,000 people, and his favorite gig to do, he said it a
Yeah.
couple times when I've interviewed him, is maybe like a room that holds 100 people.
Yeah.
There's 150 people in it.
More intimate show.
Yeah. Is that the same?
A lot easier to get COVID.
Yeah, a lot easier.
Yeah.
So what about you?
But
What's
true.
What's your favorite show to do? Is it the big?
I
the big
don't
thing?
even have a comparison like he does. I would say I'd say I've gotten really good at discerning exactly what gigs work for me, because just because I play country music doesn't mean that I play to a dance crowd. You know what I mean? Like, remember the Little Red Hen? As adorable as that place is, I never fit in. My music never fit in. They were looking at me and going, play some Earl, play some Loretta, play some, you know, and I have maybe one of each of those songs, and then what? They didn't want to dance to my originals.
You'd fit in
you
there
know?
now.
No, they don't want to dance to my originals.
Huh.
They want to hear. So any gig where I can do my show the way I want to do it, and I'm not saying just my music, but my weave of music. I take people on a journey, and I play some covers, and then we play some originals, and then some covers, and then some originals. So it's not like it's all about me, but it's just that the way that I build a show doesn't fit. I don't like the way that I had to build it. I had to build a completely different show for that type of venue. So for me, I like it when I can sing up a beer garden and get them singing along. I like it when I can jump into the audience and really get close with people, although I don't know how that's going to turn out this summer, because can I give people my mic and sing into? Probably not.
I wouldn't do
You
that.
know? Right. So that's part of my show. That's gone now.
Well, you
So
remember that?
what do I do then, right?
You could put safe plants in the audience. People you know are safe to sing into your mic.
Yeah, but it still wouldn't help the way it looks,
True.
right? So it
Well,
won't help.
I think you're right on point, because I remember a club that we played a couple times in Bellingham, and
Ferndale,
they
yeah.
liked us, but as soon as we took a break, the DJ played music and the dance floor packed.
And as soon as we got back up, they disappeared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
And that
also,
doesn't make anybody feel very good.
well, like the casinos too. The casinos is different because people aren't really there to see music when you're
And-
playing inside the casino.
Right. And some of the casinos were actually really fun gigs, but some of them were also they just expect to come in and hear a cover band. And then that's what the booker should give them, not original artists, you know? And I think I've gotten good at discerning where do I fit, where do I not fit? And definitely fairs and festivals, booked as an original artist, that's where I fit in. Summer concert series, they're always fun. Like I love those. And then any intimate set, like house concerts, are also really fun to play. I like those because you get to connect with your audience in a whole different way that you just don't if you're jumping around on a stage. Right?
Exactly.
Hey, I just thought of something. Are we doing this remote again next Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, what if we just set up then?
Yep. And then we'll see where I'm at.
Exactly.
Probably somewhere on my way back to from Stevensville, which is where I'm at the day before. So,
Gotcha.
and Jim is being super sweet. He's saying you can play all originals at the Auburn Ave.
Ah.
We have to get creative, Jess. We do exactly, and that's the thing. It's about getting creative and engaging people in the way that I can now, rather than think about now I have to change my show again. Like, what is that going to look like?
Yeah. And by the way, Jim, I got your email. I will be calling you soon, brother.
Why do you have to talk off the books there, Ray? Nobody knows what that's about. What's going on? You guys are being all secretive.
Yeah, that's what you sound like.
I'll be
Oh my god.
sassy.
Mm,
Hey, so
I was born sassy, and you know it.
I was gonna say I don't have to drink to get sassy.
Oh,
before we finish it up today, why don't you give people an update on your June 12th Nashville trip? What's going on there? What's going on with you there?
June 13th. Yeah, I'm going to Nashville on June 13th, and I'm coming back on the 25th. And in that time, I know I have at least 5 or 6 shows lined up. Going back in the studio. I'm going in the studio with Chris Jones and Don Gatlin, and we're going to be creating some more magic.
Nice.
And with that, I think we might. It's gonna get a little loud in here because some people have just joined this area of the bar. So just so you know. Yeah. So that's gonna be exciting. But in the meantime, I have May 29th. I'm in Quincy, Washington. June 5th, I'm at the Auburn Avenue Theater. And June 12th, I'm up in Mount Vernon again for a drive-in show. So we got a string of shows before I take off again.
Nice.
Very nice.
In Washington.
We missed you, JLW, and have a successful tour, and I'll butt dial you, in the morning.
I thought we were going for an hour. Why are you trying to kick her off already?
He's not listening.
What?
Very well. He's not listening very well. He didn't hear what you just said.
Oh, yeah, because it's getting real loud in here. That's the only difference. I mean, if you guys can hear me fine, then I don't care. I'm just having a hard time hearing you, but
We can hear you fine.
okay, so we can keep going until it gets until it gets too loud. I can't. That's the thing. I can't hear you guys right now.
He says, Jess, you are one of the hardest working people in music that I know.
Love you, Jim. What does Funky says? How did your first gig ever go? Asking both. Oh, wonderful. Okay, Funky says she wants to do live shows herself.
She asked a question though.
Yeah, she said how my first gig ever went.
Yeah, first.
Well, actually, the one that I didn't invite anybody to, it actually went pretty.
First, hold on. First gig. Was your first gig in the U.S. or was it in Copenhagen?
Well, I didn't do my music in Copenhagen at all.
Well, I know, but that doesn't mean you didn't do a gig.
It does to me.
Okay.
Because I can put on a facade if I'm singing other people's music. If I'm in a choir, I'm singing lead even, doesn't matter. I'm singing somebody else's music.
You're great for that.
And I was in, yeah. So to me, that's not what I would describe as my first gig ever. My first gig ever was at that Mill Creek coffee shop. I could get all the coffee I wanted to drink. That was my pick. And exposure. And I brought it for everybody, so true exposure. Okay, so Funky, the gig went so well that I invited everybody I knew to the next gig, and then that went horribly. It didn't go horribly, but it went. I had some people there whose opinion I valued, and they gave me the harshest critique I have ever gotten. I almost gave it up right there and then.
She, I know this is your thing, but she also asked, how my first gig went. And I would say the same thing. I've been a musician since I was 9, but my first gig, I truly feel like I started doing gigs when I became a keyboard player.
Mm-hmm.
Um, mine, mine's a very, very special circumstances because I was in Germany and the band that I played in, the guitar player was a Juilliard graduate. Simply put, the band I played with, these guys all had 15 plus years of experience being rock musicians. And I'd been playing for probably 6 to 8 months. So I may have looked cool on stage, and by cool I mean like calm, cool, and collective. But I felt like I was gonna puke because every one of my like now when I play, I don't even think about it. But at the time, I'm wearing tiger stripe pants. There's pictures of it on Facebook. Funky.
Oh yeah, no,
Wearing
it's
tiger
true.
stripe pants, doing my thing with 3 keyboards in front of me, and every single note I was terrified to make sure I hit everything. Seriously.
And
And
what is it with trying to be so I mean, because I have it too. Trying to be so perfect at everything right from the get go. I mean, what about the learning curve, right?
yep. And that's
I'm less
that's
perfect now than I was then. I'm like, blah,
that's
blah,
probably
it's
that's
fine.
probably the lesson for Funky is when you do your first gig, Funky. Don't worry about being perfect. Just remember why you're playing. Because you love it, you have a good time,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? Sometimes some of your favorite groups, the reason they're so good is because they're not perfect.
Yeah. Funky,
Records,
can I give you some advice unsolicited? Although you were asking, but you were talking about finding a guitarist, and off you go. And by all means, go find that guitarist. I think that's a great idea. I did the same work, and I never found the guitarist, so I had to become my guitarist. And it took me about a year to get to a point where I was really comfortable just playing myself and my guitar, and was able to do 2-hour show or whatever, just me. Um, don't let that hold you back if you can't find the right guitarist to accompany you. That's all I was gonna say, because it's all on you, and become whatever you can't seem to find, just become that yourself.
it's good advice. Great
Yeah,
advice.
it's lived advice.
Yes. By the way, Funky loves the Funky Smurf thing.
Oh, and I know, we should do that. I can be your guitarist in the Smurf band. That'd be great.
Yes. And now you know how to animate, so you could even do some kind of
Oh, she says she has people who want to play with her, but you're worried about being nervous. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't have the same problem with being nervous, except not wanting to fail while I'm up there. Like that. That was terrifying. So I was more scared than nervous. I don't know if that you can. Does that make sense? Like
yeah.
it's
The
not
more
nerves
thing,
per se. It wasn't the shaky feeling or anything. It was just what if I really make a big boo boo and I can't remember what if I have one of those blanks? Because they
well,
happen.
here's something I just thought of. And number one, I don't I don't get nervous anymore. A little bit. I get nervous because I'm getting ready to share my babies with the world, and
Hmm.
you like your reaction. But I just thought of something. So obviously there's an age difference between us. I've been doing gigs in the rock world for 34, 35 years, and you've probably done as many gigs as I've done in 35 years in your 10 years. So it doesn't matter when you get them; it just matters that you do them, right?
Well, I mean, there's no. What did they say about like entrepreneurial ship is fail hard and fail fast. That's the only way you learn. And I learned fast because
Yep.
I was making up for 10 years of not doing anything musically, really. Especially not my own stuff. So yeah. You know what
So
I'm reading? I'm reading right now. Actually, Funky, you might like this book. It's the Ari Hairstand book of how to make it in the new music business. He put out a second edition a few years ago, and it's brilliant. I read it back in the day, but now I'm reading it in a whole new way, and that's what I'm listening to as I'm driving right now. So I recommend that because there's some good little pointers in there,
why don't
especially
you
about mindset. And
why don't you send a link to Funky?
sure, I'll do that when we're done.
So that brings up a good question. So if you were and I'm sure this has already happened to you, but let's just sound effect. Bueller. What would you if you're doing a show? If you were doing a show and a young artist came up to you and sincerely asked you, "How do I get started in the music business?" What would you tell
Wow. How to get started?
them? It's tough.
That depends on where they're at, right? Because some people feel like they haven't started and they already have. So it's kind of like it depends on where they're at and what they want to achieve. Because that's the whole one of the chapters in this book I'm reading is what does making it even mean? That means something different to everybody.
Yeah.
I once had a kid from the Live It Out Loud program look at me and say, when I asked him, what does making it look like? Well, like you. Like me? I'm like, oh, okay. Wow.
Well, and it changes. And what your
It changes.
definition of making it is can change over the years. I mean, and people have misconceptions because I remember dear friends to all of us, so the Travis Larson band, Travis, the lead guitar player, namesake of the band, he was telling me a story once. He said, yeah, he did a gig and they kicked ass and had a good draw and they played a tight set, and someone come up to him and said, with a beer and cheered him and said, hey, you guys are on your way. He says,
You're on your way, right?
he says, you guys are rising. You're getting close. I mean, to making it. And Travis kind of smiled because I knew where he was going to go. He goes, we're there.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't make it much more in their category than where he's at. Well, and
it's because
so to answer,
he defined making it as making a living at.
well, yeah, exactly. Well, if you ask your Uncle Joe, he's gonna say, when are you gonna try out for, Idol or American Idol or The Voice or something, right? Because that to them is making it. Oh, when are you gonna be on TV? Or stuff like that. And it's like, does it matter that I have a thriving career that I'm happy with?
Well,
yeah, right. It does.
Yeah, of course. And part of it's education because not to be Debbie Downer, but the thing is a lot of it is just people don't like. It's like somebody could be having a bad day and reacting a certain ways. It's what we don't know. But like America's Got Talent, The Voice, American Idol. Yeah, people. If you got an opportunity to be on one of those shows, I'm sure you'd probably grab one of them, depending on the circumstances. But
depending on the circumstances, yes.
But people don't. The
Thank
general
God I'm too old.
realize that those shows, it's all about television. They spit artists in and spit them out. And American Idol's the worst of all of them. Their contract, you are literally selling your soul to the devil.
So before you tangent too far, now you guys are really realizing what it's like to be part of our house, because this is how we talk all the time. Before you get too far, you asked me a question that I never got around to answering. And it was, what would my advice be?
Yes.
And all I started with saying was, it depends on where they're at. But if all I had was a moment, I would say, get involved in the music business only if you cannot help yourself. If that's all you see yourself doing. And then keep at it and be willing to redefine what making it means.
Stay the course.
Yeah.
Stay the course. Stay the course.
Because that's a great. I mean, a lot of times when I get asked, or if I sometimes offer unsolicited advice, I'll say,
You offer unsolicited advice?
What? If you don't wake up in the morning thinking about music, and you go to bed at night thinking about music, leave it as a hobby. Do something else, because it's got to be in your heart, because it will rip you to shreds. Literally rip you to shreds. And that's not a negative thing. That's with anything. If you want to be an investment banker or a stockbroker, well, you better love not sleeping and getting up at 5 o'clock every morning to check out what's going on. I mean, it's anything in life, right? You love what you do what you love.
Yep. And I keep muting myself so that the loud room doesn't. I can hear you guys better if I mute myself, just so you know. Honky, I'm so excited to hear about you taking on music yourself, because I want to hear it and I want to be a part of that. And I love it. It's awesome. Yay, Funky.
And Funky.
Yay, Smurf band.
that's more fun. And Funky, I think I'm speaking for both Jess and I. Is that anytime you ever have any questions, ever, just message us. We'll be there for you. And B too. If
That's
you,
true for any of you guys.
we're talking about
You know?
music, but Bob here is one of the most incredible barbecue kings out there. So Funky, if you're ever there and you want to do a barbecue and you're like, I'm gonna do ribs or I'm gonna do this, contact this guy. He'll give you a recipe. He'll tell you how to cook it, what temperature, how to cook it, marinate it, put it back. I mean, everything.
Are you over promising right now?
No,
I think
B.
he is.
No, B.
Yeah,
You,
he is.
if Funky reached out to you, B, wouldn't you hook a girl
Well, I
up?
would help her, but you got to have the right tools.
You gotta have the right tools.
Ah, see, there you go. So that's the advice for. It's about knowing the entrepreneurship of the business that you're in, right? And B, you're an entrepreneur just like we are, just a different genre, different industry.
Well, and you
Yeah.
actually bring up a great question, which is entrepreneurial, because the United States of America is a country that's built on the premise of freedom and opportunity. So you came to the United States from Denmark. You have this opportunity in front of you, and how does it feel to be number one? How does it feel to be your own boss and be an entrepreneur? And what's it been like? Bullet points in this last year.
All right. Well, I feel like I've always been my own boss, but my other bosses
We
just
can
didn't
vouch
agree,
for that.
and my other bosses just didn't agree. So I I feel like I started my first business when I was 20. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always done. More people just came to the party. I've always been my own boss. Like I've always wanted to work for myself. Is what I'm trying to say. And this last year has been. I'm realizing because I've been thinking about this a lot, especially while driving. I do a lot of thinking while driving. That there's something. This last year opened my eyes to a whole other way of doing things, and now I feel like I have. It's almost like I was given an extra large canvas. This canvas was taken away for a while. The playing live music. And then here's another one to paint on, and now I want both. So, like, how do you weave that together? And we're doing it right now. I'm on the road and we're going live,
Yeah.
right? So we knew this was going to happen, and now it's actually happening. So I feel like it broadened my horizon, and it also made me realize that no matter what the world looks like, I'm going to be making music, and so
Good.
whatever that looks like.
Hey, and by the way, real quick, Funky just said, "Love you guys. You're the best. Next time I need help with barbecue, I know who to hit up."
Look you up, yeah. That's awesome.
So
Are you gonna head off to Sarajevo there anytime soon, Brian?
well, that's another thing that's cool is tough as the music industry is. It's always been tough for one reason or another. There's a lot more opportunities out there. But what's it like? Do you even think about the fact that when you go live or anything you do, you're not only hitting a local audience, but you're hitting a broad audience because specifically the UK, you are getting obliterated with podcast requests and love.
That's all. That's all Paige. That's all Paige.
Well, no, that is all paid,
But they love
But
but they love you.
yes, and
How does that?
I love them. It's a mutual love connection right there. I love it, and that's part of what I was talking about with broadening my horizon. It's almost like I was given a bigger world to perform for, which is kind of silly because it's always been there. I mean, of all people, I came from Denmark. I should know how big the world is, but realizing how much of an audience there is to gain out there. That's something I really want to dive into. And Funky, I don't know if you're still watching, and you're on Twitch. I'm actually going to start going live on Twitch in the mornings, which will be perfect for you because that'll be evening for you. So let's keep that in mind
You know what?
on Twitch. Yeah.
check this out. I just came
Check
up with
this
this
out.
idea, and
Idea 1,346,298.
that's true. 7. She just said, and you got love from Sarajevo too. Check this out. How cool would this be? How cool would this be? What if, when Funky popped in, you started like asking her questions, doing whatever, because you're 10 years into your career, you're rising, you're charting, you got songs playing on hundreds of radio stations and podcasts, whatever. She's got a podcast going, but she's a brand new artist, right? Bass player, starting her journey. How cool would it be if you started kind of, if you will, creating a log? Meaning, when you go live on Twitch, you know, if she jumps in when that's going on, you say, hey, like a little section of it. Like, where's Funky at right now? How's, you know, first band, first whatever. How cool would that be to kind of follow the journey of a brand new artist and something that's very close to your heart? Let people know about your foundation, Diamond in the Dust, but how powerful women.
Yeah, Funky. You can apply now.
Oh, tell her about that. Yeah. Good
She knows
segue.
about it. We talked about it.
Okay.
Diamond. Jim goes, I don't know Twitch. That's all right, Jim. Maybe it's not your platform. The diamondsinthedustfoundation.com is my foundation for supporting women who are passionate about what they do. And it doesn't have to be music, it can be anything, but if you know whatever it is that you're passionate about, we have at least one scholarship. We have 2 scholarships, one $500 one and one $100 one, and we keep taking donations. So as the donations come in, the scholarships will grow, and we give those out every January. So Rochelle Henry got it last year, this
Funky?
year, and then
This is real money.
Funky. Yeah, so Funky, you should be able to apply. I don't actually know if it's open right now, but I'll go check and I'll make sure that you get the thing. Yeah. And Lana's still watching. Love you, Lana.
Hey, Jess.
There's another talented musician for you.
Jess, let's get away from music for a second. Let's talk about. This is scary. Man. Why don't you talk about? Because I love this. So for those of you out there who don't know, Jessica Lynn Whitty is a super nerd. She watches Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, Men in Black, Back to the Future, on and on. So let's talk specifically about Superman and Lois.
Ooh, my favorite new series. So I was noticing how they are. You guys have been watching the DCs. There's Arrow, and there's Supergirl, and there's Flash, and there's a whole bunch of other ones, but those are my favorites. And then when the Arrow ended, they kind of needed someone to fill the Arrow's place, and I feel like they created Superman and Lois for that. Now, the premise of this, which you and I both watched the pilot together,
It's awesome.
was really captivating because all of a sudden they're married. She knows about him. Voila.
They have two,
But they have 2
boys.
teenage boys that don't. And then the whole thing unfolds with, do they have powers? Don't they? Can he split his time between being Superman and being a father? And it's so well made. It's so well made.
And
It doesn't hurt that the actors that play them are amazing. So.
And the cinematography is fantastic.
Oh, so good. The graphics, a little bit to be desired, but still, it's still DC worthy. I can't wait for a new crossover with them.
Well, and speaking of crossover, it kind of already is crossover because the bad guy is.
Oh yeah, is someone from one of the crossovers from the Infinite Earths? No, wait, Crisis. One of the Crisises, but not the Infinite Earth one. The one with the Nazi worlds.
Right.
Yeah, this is how deep into this stuff I am.
Well, and the thing is,
and in my spare time, I do music.
but that leads to another great thing because we always talk, especially Honky Tonk Happy Hour, you get to know Jessica Lynn Whitty a lot better, and it's all about writing songs and spending time. I mean, you went on a retreat about a month or so ago and wrote a bunch of new songs
Mm-hmm.
international. All that's great. Why is it so important to you that you detach from all that?
As in, why is it important for me to watch my series?
Yes. But I
Yeah.
mean, is it because you need a break, or is it just? I mean, why is it so important to? I mean, because people might think that all you do is
It
music, but I'm here to tell you,
it,
yeah,
Cross
it
stitches.
cross
feeds
stitch.
it feeds my imagination. I would probably be a storyteller filmmaker if music didn't exist. I tell stories with my music,
And your
and
videos.
my videos, which is partly why I do love making those videos. Um, I'm a terrible actor, so I could not be an actor in the world of actors. But I love exposition. I love storytelling. I went to school for it. Part of my multimedia design was storylining video games. It's like one of the things that we were taught how to do: the storyline curve, hero and heroine's journey, and how they're different, all that stuff. I adore it because it feeds my creative soul almost in a way music can't. It's yeah, I guess that's mostly it. It's almost like if you imagine you have creativity on your scales over here, and one is music, and it just gets way too heavy, and then I need some other creativity to balance it out. But something that still replenishes me and keeps me, oh wow, this is cool. Keeps my imagination going.
Awesome. So it's kind of like I mean, it sparks your curiosity, which you may not write songs about Superman, but if your curiosity is on fire, it's going to help you be more inspired in general, right?
I may write a song from an emotion evoked from what I'm watching.
Hmm.
That has happened many times,
So balance.
directly and indirectly. I'll be all like fired up because something I watched made me feel a certain way, and I'm like, I want to write about this feeling, and then that feeling turns into something else, and I'm creative over here. But it all melds together, I think.
Well, we it doesn't matter what you're doing because, like, remember recently you and I watched the Pink concert and
We watched what?
the Pink concert.
The pink.
Oh, the concert. Yes, yeah. That's
And
how hard a
remember,
time I'm having hearing.
in the middle part of the show, when she kind of brought things down and sat behind the grand piano, I realized
Oh yeah.
I didn't have that, and I was inspired, and I wrote a song. It's it just came. So it's. I think
Your song is called.
yeah. Bob
To
is trying to be
me,
funny.
to me though, sitting down and watching a concert like that, or even going to a concert, like
Work.
when we went to the ACM concerts in Vegas, that was work. Like I was drinking, but it was work. I was I was taking notes. I was like, he was plastered. Yeah, he was.
He was.
Um,
I was
but
beyond
but
plastered.
but I see when I watch my series or my movies or these kind of like like very very creative writing things. I don't notice how I'm being creative because I'm relaxing because I don't think of it as work. So it
Well,
sneaks up. It sneaks up on me.
you actually made me think of a serious question because we hardly ever ask B questions. But so B is our buddy, probably one of our best friends in the world, our roommate Brian. He's our fan, and our basically Jessica Lynn and my team for the different things we do are our friends. So, question for you is: so you've done a little bit of everything in the music industry. What's the biggest thing, if anything, that has surprised you that you thought differently about? Like, maybe you thought the music industry was this, or things were this way, or did you? What surprised you? I mean, was it how much work actually goes on behind the scenes, or what?
No, I knew there was a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. I would say, that just realizing that radio play is, it's not that you're good, it's not that your music is good, you have to pay to get there. That's why you hear some crap on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hear a song enough times, you think it's catchy, but all you did is hear it enough times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Repeat,
It
repeat,
works out
repeat.
sometimes. It works out sometimes, but yeah, again, it sounds like an old person thing to say, but if people only knew the payola thing. In a lot of cases, it's worked out great. I mean, look at Prince, look at Michael Jackson, look at Van Halen, look at Pink Floyd, U2, on and on and on. But there's also a lot of stuff out there that never sees the light of day
Yeah.
because, I mean, there's a reason. There's two words: music, business.
Yeah.
And the business aspect of it is like anybody else. I mean, if Apple didn't advertise and spend money on commercials and all that kind of stuff, nobody would know who they were.
Speaking of Apple, have you guys seen the commercial where they're talking about stop following me? Like the whole like ask app, whatever. He orders a coffee and then all these people start following him around. They're just looking over his shoulder, looking at his bank statements.
Oh
It's
my God.
hilarious. I was like, oh, that is a good commercial. So anyway, sidetrack.
That's Apple basically saying we don't track you like Google does.
Yeah, pretty much. I've noticed they're asking now. They're like, do you want the app to track? No, please.
Never.
No.
And with that, just
Yeah, probably time to
it's probably
take.
time to
I
wrap
gotta
things
pee.
up. But what is you have any you have any words of wisdom for your rebels out there today? Leave them with some positivity.
Oh man. Oh, Holly just joined us. Hi, Holly. Sorry,
Holly.
we're just about to take off. Just if you guys, okay, words of wisdom. If you from a bar in Livingston, Montana. If you guys have artists that you are passionate about, like some music that you're passionate about, share it. It does wonders for us as artists. So share it.
Beautiful.
Share.
Well, let me just throw in there that you've been listening to the Honky Tonk Happy Hour with Jessica Lynn Whitty on tour in Montana. The beautiful Bob, which we had perfect Manhattan tonight.
Perfect Manhattan, yeah.
Our brother
And a perfect Malbec.
Exact perfect Malbec at the Mint in
the Mint in Livingston, yeah.
If you have not checked out JessicaLynnWhitty.com in a while, do because she's got all kinds of stuff. If I'm not mistaken, you have some merchandise, some classic merchandise on sale there. Right?
I do. Well, I actually not on sale on the website right now, but it will be very, very soon. We have a spring sale coming up. So once I'm back from tour, the spring sale starts.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, and we'll have some really good deals on some older merchandise. I'm sorry, not older, vintage.
Hey Jess.
Yeah.
I think you should end the show today with the Frank and Pedro
Mm-hmm.
out there song. Why don't you make that your own?
My name is Jessica, and I am awesome.
Peace. Hey girl. It's actually Jessica Lynn Whitty. But
okay, fine, but I wasn't wrong.
No. Right. Hey, check her out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitch.
Thanks for joining us, you guys. And we'll be back in the same kind of format next week because I'm still going to be on tour. So, peace out.
Bye, girl.